Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be hopping into game number 2 very shortly between CLOUD9 and TSM. A little unfortunate in the way that game unfolded. Sadly, we did have a disconnect. Poor old Lucio. But Grego is back for map number 2, and we are going to be going into Lijiang Tower. Some very, very exciting games we've had today so far already, Dan.
Yes, again, Lijiang Tower, that's the VOD to catch, or rather the map to catch of the Grand Finals VOD of the European segment. If you missed it, that was pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, that may be one of the highlights of these open matches. I mean,
of
so
the
far.
year.
Oh, this.
It could be. We don't know yet.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, the storyline was great. But either way, Lijiang Towers has been pretty fun. We've seen a lot of diversity on the setups that have been used. But one thing we've actually seen is actually a lot of Reaper play coming in. So that's quite fun. If that will continue, I would like to see that.
Yeah, I think a lot of it does depend on the point. On some of the more open points where you can be, where your team can be really spread out and more diverse, I really favor Dragon Blade. I think it's just a better ultimate to be able to use, for example, on the Shrine point on Nepal, even though we're not going there just yet. And then using Reaper where in situations where you're in an enclosed space and Death Blossom has a much higher percentage chance of killing off 3-4 people in one go. So it comes down to what hero everyone is familiar with, but also at what point you're actually able to make the distinction between where that's useful.
Right, and going into this one, of course, we saw some, tricksy, maybe some elaborate strategy attempted by CLOUD9. It didn't quite work out thanks to the hook shenanigans of Harblue. Do you feel like we're going to see, well, it looks like we're jumping straight into it, but I was going to say, do you think we're going to see something similar to that? Because it's all about the individual skill here, and already both teams meeting each other in the courtyard for the initial battle.
Yeah, this is actually huge. Nick, Joe, and Harblue all going down initially. That is not good. That is a full team wipe to start things off with. And, well, Grego disconnected before, but at the moment it's 6v0. So they've disconnected the rest of the entire team. They have put them into airplane mode to start this off. Nicely
done. Well, it's time to contest, as that point has been just taken by CLOUD9. We're going to see already Reaper going in there, just leading the charge, but he needs some people to give him some space. The Dragon Blade will come out into play as well to get the slices in there. But TSM getting shut down again. Not really looking too good. Their forecast, well, it's just precipitation.
If you're joining us just now, folks, TSM are 1-0 up, and as it turns out, CLOUD9 are not very happy about it.
No, they are not happy at all. This is a little bit one-sided, opening things up, but there's always the third engagement. Third time is a charm. That's what they say.
We'll see if that ends up holding true here on Lijiang. And JKW at the moment looking for opportunities to drop the shields and really start powering up. Kai getting into a new mech as everyone is attacking the point now. We have collapses from both teams. Devitt really getting into the thick of things as Winston here, and these going to pay off. All 6 are dying again from TSM. This isn't just a team wipe, it's a flick them off the map.
You what, mate? That is all I have to say about
that. Watch as I make this team disappear.
Yeah, that was pretty good. It's a nice magical trick there from the Winston Devitt. And, well, CLOUD9 just, they're going to go 4 for 4 here. Here comes the 4th attack. And so far they've crushed all the other ones. Look at Shawfall just going in there, just trying to hit them in the back. He gets the Dragon Blade out there, unsheathed, slicing, dicing, going full samurai mode, and it's looking good.
Yeah, this is, the approach from TSM isn't going to work here. What you saw them do was try to come around the back and sneak into the point. While they were sneaking into the point, though, Shawfall and Devitt were both attacking the last couple of players. That meant Nicholas was dead before the team fight even began, Dan. And as a result, TSM have to switch up. They need to stop trying to bypass Cloud9 and get onto the point, and they have to face them in the open field.
Yeah, I hope they're doing that right now. I think they have no choice because that choke point is being blocked out. You see the self-destruct, all the ultimates pop there. Nicholas still has a Death Blossom to go to in these enclosed spaces, but we're out into the open. We're out into, of course, the courtyard and the capture point now as everyone spreads out, getting a lot of 1 versus 1s. And actually, TSM will find themselves on the point finally. Now that they've done what you said, they've taken that engagement. They're getting themselves some work.
Great headshot on Devitt there. And we now have 3 players taken out for CLOUD9. For the first time, TSM are able to take that. And meeting them in open battle and trying to win that team fight proved to be significantly better for them. Kai currently caught in a little bit of a corner. That's going to be slightly awkward for him, facing off against Zenyatta and definitely coming away in 2nd place.
Alrighty then, so maybe there is a chance here for TSM after all, and it would be very nice for them to close this out in a quick fashion against CLOUD9. Definitely feels like CLOUD9 are definitely a little bit stronger in some senses. TSM, though, they have the opportunity. They have that one map lead as well to work with. And look at this, Torque just buying some time with the high noon. Things he hopefully got the cancel out off there. I think he did. And yes, he did indeed. And now it's going to be Graviton Surge coming into play there from Cloud9. Can they get the damage in there? It's multiple kills coming in from TSM. Holding on here. Rather, it was actually a self-destruct, my bad.
And Cloud9 have to recapture the point at least just once. They're currently at 99%, so they will have 1 or 2 more points where they can actually try and close this out. Kai and Adam, though, will be able to do that already. Overtime has gone in, but they are just 2 people on the point. Winston and Zenyatta are going to muscle their way in here, and they really need the support from their team, who are now starting to arrive. It's going to end up being an all-out brawl to see if Cloud9 can close this out.
Debit has been doing a great job throwing people off the map. He's going to continue in that fashion. They're able to get an extra kill in that way, and it's going to be a nice hold here in the end for Cloud9. Did they crush 4 attacks, or was it? I think it was 4 out of 4. The first one they crushed until finally on the 5th go, we saw CSM like maybe we should actually fight them.
And it turns out it worked quite well for them. Now, if only they had made that decision when both teams were at 0% or when they had just taken the point, then the outcome of that might have been a little bit different. But as it stands, Cloud9 in this best-of-5 Lijiang Tower will now be up 1-0.
Indeed, and Devin's trying to give himself some basketball action here.
I feel like it's cheating if you get a basket in that way.
Yeah. Well, it looks like he's going to be unsuccessful anyway, so that's okay. It looks like we're going to have the Tracer on Torque, which is good. I love to see the Tracer on this stage of Lijiang. And actually, okay, we've got a Reaper on Nicholas as well, which is also quite cool. Yep. I like the setup here for TSM, the composition. Let's see if Cloud9 can defeat it, though.
Coming in from different directions. Torque and Nicholas, like you say, very good at being disruptive and coming in via a flank. There aren't too many places to come into the front, though. They are going to have to basically contest in open ground. The flanks aren't terribly sneaky because at the end of the day, you have to be stood inside that circle. Shake going down, and Nicholas very early on in this engagement. Devin managing to get that kill there. But Gregor and Reaver simultaneously going down for Cloud9, and Adam also just respawned as Zenyatta. So we're going to be seeing a little bit of a trickling effect, and I think this is great for TSM to start things off.
Yeah, this is a really nice start for them indeed, and hopefully for them they can keep it going right now as it's on Cloud9. It's their prerogative to break the defense, and so far it's Torque actually has himself the Pulse Bomb available, and I'm looking to see some nice combos, but I have to see there's actually the Zarya JKW almost has his Graviton Surge. That could be one of the combos to look out for.
Yep, especially because we have Torque with the Pulse Bomb as well. So we've seen a Graviton Surge come out very, very well with Tracer so far today. We might be seeing a little bit more of that here in this semi-final. As it currently stands, the point is now being recaptured by Cloud9, who did have a successful team engagement. 27% plays 3.
And you can see in that sense, TSM were holding off on using their ultimates. They wanted to combine JKW's almost at the Graviton Surge to combine that with the Pulse Bomb. They've got, of course, the barrier, sound barrier to come in from Joe Meister as well. So looks like they can set up for a very meaty push now.
And here we go, Torque coming in, managing to go via a health pack as well to get rid of those initial shots, and getting 2 very quick early kills on Gregor and Alok. There go the supports actually for Cloud9, and the team has been cut off at its knees. I want to credit Torque and especially Nicholas there for a very, very excellent initiation, and that is going to mean the point once again flips in the direction of TSM.
That self-destruct only, well, not really doing any damage except to all the chairs in the room, everyone else surviving, and it was not an effort that is going to reap any rewards for Cloud9 as TSM now hold firmly on the points. And now we get the push back in for Cloud9, looking to reclaim what is theirs. Debit will lead the charge, the initiation with the barrier there, and seeing what else he can get done. He's got the primal range to go to as well when he gets low on health, but there, look at the Graviton. Oh. It is massive.
Well, we didn't actually get too much area of effect damage into that Graviton Surge, though. It didn't really combine 100% quite as well as they would have wanted. So now it's ended up being an all-out brawl on top of the point itself. Torque doing a tremendous job at the moment on Tracer, getting so much damage done, especially on the tanks. And that's going to be really frustrating news for Devin, who now only has half his hit points to deal with, but he has got Primal Rage available. Is he going to pop it? He does indeed.
So Devit's going to be able to escape there just in the nick of time, but lots of damage is being done here by Cloud9. They are managing to keep themselves alive on the point for the reinforcements to arrive, and their presence is going to mean that they're going to be able to hold on to the point, well, rather to flip control and hold on to it for the time being. TSM are going to have to regroup now. There's some key time Cloud9 will have to build to hopefully get back, for them and for their sake at least, on more even fields.
Yeah, this is actually quite interesting because
it's been very open. The point has flipped several times. The teams have both looked capable of winning flat-out fights against each other. It's actually been really even on this point on Lijiang. Nicholas, at 100% ultimate. Unfortunately, he goes down as well, so no Death Blossom is going to be available in this massive team fight, which is actually going very strongly in the way of Cloud9.
And you can see the Revel's holding off on using the Pulse one for now. He just doesn't need to go for it. And it's going to be interesting to see whether, again, he can get any good combinations going there. Of course, there is actually no Zarya for Cloud9, so no, we don't get that awesome meaty combo with the Graviton Surge and the Pulse bomb. But that's okay. Lots of other things for him to do with it as the push comes back in from TSM. And they do have the Death Blossom available, also Primal Rage and a Pulse Bomb of their own. And there is the Death Blossom, but it's not going to really land on too much, apart from just one player. But that might be enough here.
There's a little bit of a whiff, actually, from Nicholas. He managed to get Reaver at least. Torque, unfortunately, simultaneously going off the edge of the map. I suspect what happened was a Pulse Bomb might have taken himself out as well. All 6 members of TSM are alive, though, and only 2 from Cloud9, so that will be enough to flip the point. And it's at 98%. It won't quite get to 99. Is TSM going to be able to convert this? It's looking very good for them. They only have to hold for another 20 seconds.
Yeah, and they've got the sound barrier available, which is a really big boon to their defensive capabilities. And as far as Cloud9 and their sustain goes, they don't really have much in the way of health phenomena to power through with. Here we go. We got the sound barrier dropped there by Joe Meister. Lots of damage being done. 2 players immediately. 3 players dead there. Straight away for TSM. They are starting to lose everybody here. This is looking great now for Cloud9.
And 3 down, 3 to go, unfortunately, for TSM. Cloud9 with everyone still alive, still on the point, and that is going to be it. We are going up 2 points to 0 in this best of 5. Very, very strong performance there to come back after losing the first map.
So, I mean, TSM, putting up a pretty good fight there on that second point as well. Now, how do you feel about their chances on this one?
Right now, I actually think Cloud9 have been better on the flip. Both TSM and Cloud9 seem to be quite even in the team fights. I think that normally I would favor the defender, whoever grabs it first, but Cloud9 seems to do a better job attacking the point than TSM. So for that reason, if Cloud9 take the point first here, then I think this section of the map is theirs to lose.
All right, well, we've got some pretty interesting compositions as well compared to what we were seeing repeatedly on Lijiang in the European broadcast, which is quite interesting. Either way, though, we will have the action starting off immediately. Both teams making it over the bridge there towards the point and going for the initial engagement. Initiations made there by the Winstons, the respective Winstons of both teams, as the barriers are set upon. Adam under some heavy fire there with his Zenyatta, able to back away to safety for the time being now. And looks like actually Cloud9 are doing a good job here. They're losing a few players, but they're holding their ground.
It's a very staggered death, to be honest. Everyone's kind of dying at different intervals. There's like 3 different fights going on at any one time. It looks like TSM are going to make the decision to fall back and try and attack as a group. And that actually means Cloud9 are going to be able to take the point first. And like I said before, Cloud9, I think, do a better job of attacking in when the point is with the enemy. So for that reason, I give this advantage to Cloud9. TSM have struggled just a little bit more in those kind of fights where they need to take the point.
And here you go, get the next engagement coming in now. The Dragon Blade in for Shawfall to try to cut this push asunder. And he's going to get nailed straight away, actually, finding himself perhaps biting off more than he can chew. And that is a big problem because that is now TSM with the opportunity to easily get back in towards the point. And you can see Cloud9 are fighting back pretty valiantly at the moment, but it does feel like TSM are going to hold it pretty effectively.
I'm impressed, actually. TSM weren't doing very well recovering the point from Cloud9 last time around, but this time they've done much better. The initiation, especially with JKW support, has been excellent. And it's worth pointing out, by the way, in this current meta, Torque on Tracer, Nicholas on Reaper, they're doing this without a McCree, which is something that we haven't always seen in our matches today so far. So more cool stuff to watch out for in terms of hero selections from TSM.
A great point there, and again, Debit is going to be great at just flinging people off the map, and that's going to help Cloud9 massively because TSM, before they can really synergize, they just get essentially separated, isolated, and then eliminated.
Exactly right. It's almost like these are the 3 steps to happiness.
Yeah.
Separate, isolate, eliminate. Easy peasy. All right. Now we have Transcendence coming down from Adam, trying their best to sort of really stake a claim on this position as Cloud9 because TSM are falling in. They're trying to capture the point, but they haven't been able to get all the way so far. Up to 51% now for Cloud9 as everyone is slicing around. Shawfall looking for kills, managing to find a couple, but Kai takes out Joe Meister in the meantime, so that's an awful lot of support down, and Harblue is gone as well. TSM will have to regroup.
So it does seem like, generally speaking, Cloud9 are having the better of it. And I mean, one of the reasons TSM could get back in previously was because we had a bit of maybe a bit of an overextension from Shore4 on his ultimate on Genji, but now we're going to have the push back in for TSM, seeing if they can reclaim this point. And so far, we're going to actually get a nice little setup there forward with McCree to get some damage in.
And at the moment, I'm really looking to see what Reaver's going to be able to do with the Deadeye. He actually gets taken down as well because Torque has finally gone on to McCree himself. And I was wondering how long that was going to take, because Deadeye being able to close it out and just being able to clear an area is so useful when neither side has a Reinhardt available. So Ultimate's going all over the place because Cloud9 are now at 99%. They are basically trying to win this out 3-0 immediately. Harblue with the primal range looking to bat everyone out of the way. But so many people are on fire. Reaver managing to get him as well. And now Shore4 slicing and dicing away. That will be enough. Cloud9 by a scoreline of 3-0 convincingly takes the first King of the Hill map.
I've got to say that David played some great Winston. I mean, he was able to have so much impact. And there you go, you're going to see the player of the game with David. Yeah, he had so much impact just, again, separating players, but also pushing them off the map. And that's such a key factor, because taking them out of the... Oh, God, that is glorious.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah. Also incredibly disgusting.
Oops. Excuse me while I thwack. And that was absolutely worthy of play of the game. Debit, he's a little bit like NA Anak, I almost want to say, except he's very considered on his Winston play. You don't always see him jump in and be super aggressive. He will do that, and he does it very well, but he also knows when to hang back and just shield his teammates and provide that buffer in terms of damage. So he's a very well-rounded, very balanced player there, and there's a very good reason why he is one of the stars of Cloud9. So lots and lots of action going on Lijiang Tower, but ultimately Cloud9, despite the points flipping quite often, come away with a convincing 3-0 victory.
Yeah, they do. I'm quite impressed, actually, in Cloud9's ability to keep retaking things, because from an individual perspective, they did look a little bit more on point, and that's something that you would expect if a team's going to be able to win in the King of the Hill scenarios. And as you mentioned, we didn't really see the McCree so much from them, which is quite an interesting point.
Torque switched on at the end, but by that point, I feel like Cloud9 had built up a really good advantage, and I don't even think there was enough time to go ahead and grab a Deadeye, actually, before that bit of the map finished. So possibly a little bit unfortunate, but Cloud9 definitely deserving. They lost the first map, they had to really bring it together, and a 3-0 demolishing of TSM more or less guarantees, well, it was actually a payload map anyway, as we move on to King's Row.
Do you think this is the expected result in the way that you would have expected it?
I don't think it should have quite been as polarized from one to the other, but it's very, very clear that moving on to the King of the Hill map was always going to be the go-to for Cloud9. You saw just how much they stomped there. Remember in the previous semifinal where we said, oh, Luminosity are moving on to King of the Hill. The problem is Envious love it. Well, Cloud9 love it as well. And I really expected that when they went to that map. On King's Row, though, I think they might be given a run for their money by TSM, let's say.
Awesome. I think King's Row is actually a perfect way to finish off this little clash to decide who will go forwards into the grand finals for the North American portion. For the first week of the Overwatch Open, we will find out very shortly. Time for a quick break.